good afternoon. I arrived in the rain here about an hour ago, and it's just all suddenly brightened up. Yeah, I arrived and it looked awful. Weather looked awful at Marsh Lock. So up the ramp I go, and suddenly it's a beautiful late August day. So there's the boat down the ramp and over there. I've heard the odd voice coming from over in the chemical works. We've very seldom sort of noticed anyone. But anyway, so what I want to do, I just want to have a quick scout round this location. And just make sure I know the route. Now, I've got no plans on the route to exit, because essentially we're on a spit of land here. If you look, you've got the River Weaver navigation that way, you've got the lock here, and then on that side you've got the Manchester Ship Canal. So this is essentially a bit of an island I'm on, which is brilliant if there's a zombie apocalypse, but you know, as we all know, the chances aren't huge of that actually happening. And well, there is, I was going to say that's the only advantage. There are other advantages to this lovely little spot, depending on whether you're a bit of a weirdo or not. Because if you are, it's one of the loneliest spots I believe I've been in for a very long time. Absolutely. Just, oh no, this is that little section on Robbie Cummings' video. Oh my god, walking in the footsteps of giants. Look, that's where Robbie went down. Do you remember his famous, I say his famous video, famous amongst canalists? That's quite a little climb down there, but he's a fit young lad, isn't he? And that's where he did his sort of mooching around for a bit of firewood and wherever else it was. And looking a bit further on, this wooden piling, it's all sort of basically rotted away. So it must be really, really old. I mean, really old. Like sort of 100 years old kind of thing. It must probably date back to the original canal construction, I'll bet, for it to be so rotten. And whatever was on top of it, maybe this was a landing stage. That would be my guess. This was a pontoon or a landing stage for the boats before they entered the lock here. Now what's interesting as well, look, can you see how turbulent the water is? This is just the ship canal. This isn't even the River Mersey or the sea. This is literally just the ship canal. And there are waves on there which would sort of scare me slightly, because I've got my engine exhaust just marginally above the waterline, like a few inches, and they'd be splashing in and around it. But that's narrowboats for you. They're designed for sort of flat calm, essentially. It's a bizarre place. It's an absolutely bizarre place. The wind is a constant presence here. I feel like there'll be very few days, because it's so open, isn't it? I mean, it literally, it's almost like being at sea. The fetch, the wind has just got vast open space, because in the far distance, like you can see the far bank of the ship canal over there, so boats will go across that way towards Manchester. Over that bank there is the River Mersey, and across the River Mersey, what looks like sort of perhaps 2 miles away, I don't, I can't even tell, but it's a hell of a way. In that distance, you can sort of, well, you can see the shoreline and a few sort of things you can pick out. But I don't know what part of Liverpool that is. Well, it's not Liverpool, is it? Because down here, Liverpool would be to the north over there. So this is where the river curves round, sort of Warrington-ish. So Warrington will be a little way up there. But anyway, yeah, it's an amazing place. It's got an atmosphere to it. It's just bizarre. It feels like the end of the bloody world. It feels like the last mooring that ever was. The edge of the world. Even though it's not even the edge of the ship canal. But anyway, so there's that. But also, on a slightly more practical note, I want to sort of walk across here. I hope there's no cobwebs. I get the impression no one's been across here for a while. This isn't a commonly walked. Yeah. This isn't a commonly walked route, I feel. So there is a path. But yeah, there's the huge mechanisms these must have been to operate the gates here, to open the gates. And the good news here anyway is I can get the bike out. There's a route to get the bike, because that gate at the far side, far end of the lock, that is ajar, and I'm worried about trying to lug the bike across that gap. So I'm just going to pop up here, because this is it's just Marsh Lock. It's not Western Marsh Lock, as my map says. Its official name is definitely Marsh Lock. Oh, there's a boat pulled up. Oh my God, they've pulled up. They've pulled up behind me. I'm going to go and I'll have to say hello on the way past. I thought I was going to be the only person here tonight, because the Daniel Adamson guys were saying nobody ever comes here, but not so. So round here is where I will come to exit. Yes, it's an access road. There we go. I just wanted to check that runs south towards Sutton Weaver, and where the Daniel Adamson's moored, a mile or two. So that's the way out on the push bike. Looks a decent road, looks like I could do it. Just if I run short of anything, but to be honest, I've stocked up on everything, really. Just like totally off grid for a number of days, because I thought I could potentially stay here for like a week. Yeah, I thought I could maybe stay here a week if it's okay, if I feel comfortable and it looks okay. But so anyway, I'm going to pop back to the boat. So that's that's the immediate surrounding. And I was going to talk about the risk of axe murderers and all that nonsense, but a boat's pulled up behind me. They've been to the end, turned round and come back. Just noticed since I left the boat, one's just arrived. There we go, behind me. I'm going to try and step across this lock here, if I can do so safely, rather than walk all the way around. I can see the guy on the boat. Beautiful afternoon. Look, those two great globes with steps leading up and around them. What on earth are they doing there? Okay, let's see if I can get across here safely. It doesn't look too bad. Yeah. Here we go. Hiya.